What's going on, guys? Welcome to Double Tap. This is a podcast dedicated to everything in the fighting game community. And a very special welcome to the 400th episode of Double Tap. We're here to celebrate not only the new year, Happy New Year to everybody, 2025, the 400th episode, but also 10 years.
Yikes.
And some change, and some change of covering the scene, the community, having some awesome guests on, and generally just seeing where the fighting game scene has gone for the greater part of a decade. Want to say first and foremost, thank you for being part of this journey and kind of celebrating the fighting game scene with us, or kind of listening to us as we've gone through many of its phases, from players to being TOs, just being casuals and seeing hype moments. We appreciate everyone that has tuned in over all this time for it. And for that, because it's a special episode, we had to bring in an OG, triple OG again, because we can't get enough of them. Bring in Mikey is back for this episode alongside with Ja and Static, of course.
Hey.
You can say hi as well.
We can say hi.
Yeah, you can say hi. 10 years. Don't worry, 10 years. We'll get this down in like 20.
I need you to stop saying 10 years right now.
No,
I cannot deal with it.
You were there, son. I don't want to hear that. You're there, so we got proof. But yeah, guys, this is gonna be a very special episode because this is there's a bunch of stuff that's going on, and we're taking the time to kind of mark this episode to look back and kind of do a bit of a hot take episode ish, because technically a hot take isn't as improv as this is. We've kind of been talking about what we want to talk about, or some opinions that we've had in the scene. These could be some truths that some of you guys need to hear. Maybe this is your New Year's resolution. You want to compete. Well, you know what? You're gonna come here with some facts first. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna maybe argue a little bit, and we want to hear, of course, from you guys afterwards, what your takes are for the fighting game scene for the better part of the last decade, or for however long you've been in. I'll start. I'll set the pace up. I'll set it up, and we're just gonna go right into it. We're gonna see who here has any kind of particular opinions they want to put out there. This was difficult, bro. This was kind of a lot harder than I expected it to be, considering how much time we've put in into just doing this show and just traveling and playing games. But one of my first ones I wanted to we'll start off light. I think MKX was the best game NRS ever made.
That's not a hot. That's a hot take. How's that a hot take?
Yeah. I said mild. Take. This is mild. I said this is mild.
That's not even. That's
this
cold.
This is mild.
That's cold.
This is mild. Okay, it's okay. I'm just easing us in. Relax.
I can't think of a single person who's going to disagree with you.
Yeah.
There is mad people that don't like MKX.
Maybe the
Are
launch.
you shitting me?
Maybe the launch of MKX. Maybe the launch of MKX.
Yes. Combat kids. You say that out loud, you might get beat up in some places.
The problem is MKX at launch, to be honest, good game offline, terrible game online. They had to go back and fix that shit. So MKXXL or MKXL or whatever.
Yeah, extra large.
That is the true version of that's the good shit. But I agree, there was a lot of hate for the combat kids at the start. It wasn't until the DLC characters and things came. The three-way, the variation system they had was cool, but also people were a little booty hurt by it of why can't we just have more characters? So the initial reception of MKX, I will say, probably not the best, especially because the online play was just so garbage. But I mean, that game seems to age like fucking fine wine to the NRS community. So I don't know, man.
I don't know, because I actually, funny enough, I feel like I've been in the minority when I hear MK talk. I don't see X as being put up at I don't say it has to be the highest, but they were trying to put on the highest pedestal. I think it is. Not to say biased, because I also competed in it, but it was an incredibly fun game. Sure, with a lot of 50-50s. That was part of the bullshit. Was there a lot of bullshit? Absolutely. Untechable grabs that would cause brutalities that guarantee was literal checkmate moments. No different from fucking getting DI'd in the corner with no meter and stuff, right? No different there. No one seems to fucking bat an eye about that. They just go, yeah, checkmate, done. But that happened then. People were like, yo.
But in Street Fighter, you put yourself there. There you go.
Yeah, you kind of checkmate your state in Street Fighter 6 because you fucked your resources. That's kind of on you. And I'll stand behind that take if that's hot or not. I don't fucking know. But anyways, to go back to that, like, yeah, MKX does have some stupid bullshit in it, like 100%. But I also look at MK9 and I'm like, I'll deal with the MKX bullshit over the MK9 bullshit.
But MK9 was the last Midway game. That's why I specifically said NRS, because I'm like, by MKX, like that was the transition there. Yeah, MK9 was NRS, but that was a lot of the OG like Midway guys. So I excused all the bullshit because we had already been dealing with it since forever.
Well,
so
I wouldn't say forever after we just got out of the 3D era, but okay.
The 3D era has bad. Some dirt. Oh, 3D era has some dirt. I mean, you should go check out. You know what? Shout outs to Ketchup and Mustard. Their YouTube video series when they cover competitive characters in different variations throughout the years. 3D era, pretty interesting.
When I say that, I don't mean there wasn't bullshit in the 3D era. There was so much bullshit in the 3D era. But like, I'm just saying, like, it's been forever since MK was 2D, so there was less dealing of the 2D bullshit that was in MK9. Hello, Cabal.
Oh God.
Trauma. Cabal is trauma.
Forever trauma. No matter what game is it. Okay. Well, my mild ass take. You know, I wanted to start a little easier, but unless y'all want to just hit with the spice with the California Reaper off the rip, I
just want to get this.
Feel free.
Can I just get one out of the way? Like, I just want to get one really quick out of the way.
Yes, Mikey. 10-year vet of doing this show. I'm gonna keep saying 10 years every time. So,
fuck coaching. straight up fuck coaching. You know what, having coaches before your match starts, fine. You're like, ooh, you looked up this person and you know that they play this character and you have a coach prep and you during the match, between rounds, all that shit, fuck it. Send it straight out of here. Get it out of my face. I don't. You don't like that? No, absolutely not.
You don't like the homie yelling? You don't like the homie? He doesn't block highs, yelling from fucking like 10 feet. He's fucking free to throws. Does that count?
You came to take a test, and now your buddy is going to help you with his little cheat sheet?
There's nothing wrong. Hey, listen. There's nothing wrong with looking over. C's get degrees. Remember, C's get degrees.
Okay.
Forever remember that.
Fuck coaching.
My professor used to walk out the classroom during a test on purpose. Every time.
To look at you guys?
So, yeah.
To be like,
to let us cheat. So there you go.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know.
So he's the one. He's the one that would let somebody on stage and coach, huh? In between rounds.
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying. In between rounds.
That's Rick going like.
Yeah, I ain't see nothing.
That's
no. So you're purist. You're like, you stepped up to the cab. It's only me and you. You bring your friend over here. I'm getting jumped.
I'm playing a 1v1 game. Am I not?
Yeah.
Why am I having to deal? Why are you tagging in assists? This is I'm playing Tekken. Why are you tagging in assists?
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with that hot take, or at least there should be more clearer rules on coaching or on helping out, or maybe
that have been right. They did it where it's like you're like allowed once, or you know we've definitely covered it where people some events have like prevented it, and some people still will roll up.
Well, like,
what would you do in that situation? You're in a tournament and your opponent's homie just comes up. Are you gonna get up and be like, yo? Or are you gonna look at B? Because when it happened, I'm trying to remember. I don't know if it was combo break or do you just like? Because I remember they were looking around like this. Yeah. Or Mikey, would you just be like, would you G-check the guy?
I would probably mash rematch on his controller and be like, just go. Let's go. Time. Tournament's running. We got like, why are we wasting organization time? Why tournaments take so damn long? People come up and coach for too damn long. Like, wasn't there a tournament like in literally a TWT thing where there was just so much fucking coaching that it took forever to get through?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
In terms of, you know what? I wouldn't mind coaching if they added it to like the production. If you got to hear, like you got a designated coach, you had someone that you like. This can only be like maybe top 8, right? You can't do it fucking everywhere. And then they would come in and then you actually would like turn on the mic so they could hear some outlandish shit. They forget that they're mic'd up and they're like, yo. I saw him fucking.
That would probably
last
reduce
week.
Coaching if you had to force them to like get mic'd up
to listen in,
and so so that the coaches can get roasted. It was like, now y'all both losing.
Yeah, now you're both ass. And like, you and your man.
Like, and I just want to be clear. I don't mind if you're like getting prepped before the match,
right?
Or after. But like during, you both sat down, you loaded up, you character select is up. Shut the. I don't want to hear your friend about being like, if you didn't do your stupid homework, that's not on me.
Right.
Okay. All right, Mikey. Purist. The purist.
Well, how about this? On stream
players.
or even in general, like in the match, like TOs, because then that's down to like the TOs at each station having to know what to do, you know? Because I feel like there's a lot of incompetent TOs that just like bracket runners in particular that just don't know or just put a blind eye to everything.
As a
Volunteer
player, and if the tournament rules say no coaching as a player, if you see someone doing coaching, you drag that the TO's ass over here and be like, this dude loses this round. He just had some coaching.
Oh, yeah.
Like straight up. All these people just saw that shit. Like that's on the player. Yeah. Like if the TO is being a dumbass and not paying attention, that's on the player then to grab him and be like, what we doing about this? Because
thuggery is allowed here. All right. So, Mikey, I appreciate that one a bit more. It does kind of like fall, like I said, in the purest spirit of competition. Is like it's just me and you. Don't bring the homies in. You can talk to the homies afterwards.
Like so in 2XKO, we're gonna have to change this ruling because of the 2v2.
That shit is like you're gonna. I want to mic both players up for that shit. That's gonna be amazing.
But like that's also again though, you can't have like a third person. Like, wouldn't it be weird if you're in a team game and there's two people and y'all get a third person to come up there and be like whispering in both your fucking ears, like?
Yeah, no.
But you know what's funny about that? At high competition, in the other bigger communities out there that have been doing this as well. Like they do a lot, but only during timeouts and all that, right? There's only and you're only allowed a specific amount. But I think it's a little grander because of like maybe the amount of players we're talking about here, the actual team versus just like a single individual.
Well, there's also just a lot more like, if you're talking about like Counter-Strike or Valorant or something, like there's a lot more like map strategy, character select. Like there's a bunch of going on there beyond just mono fucking fighting. And the fights don't last that long comparatively to like a league match or a league series of matches or a Valorant series of matches. Like that, there's just a drastically different time constraint there. Like
fighting games is like, let's go. Got shit to do, bro. I put my order in right before this match started. So either this is going to go one of two ways. Either I'm going to win fast or I'm going to lose fast. Whichever way, I got to eat.
Right? Yeah, also on top of that, those other, games, they all have coaches. Like every team has a coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like at that level, the level that we're talking about.
At that
level, and if they're not at that level, more than likely they don't have a coach or the coach is not really relevant. It's just some boy. It's just somebody's homeboy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yo,
they can't
do that shit you did last night. Come on,
strategy,
that shit was
but he
fire.
can't aim.
Do it for the clip. Do it for the Twitch clip. Let's go.
I was gonna say like this isn't really that hot of a take, Mike, because like I have you like on a short saying the same thing.
I don't care. I'm saying it again. It needs to be said until I get coaching banned mid-round. I am on this tirade.
He heated it back up. My fault.
Yeah.
I'm going to run this to the ground until I get coaching banned between mid-round. Like straight up.
All right. So real quick, because that definitely got heated. I'm gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back because Static and Josh got some takes to bring in. But we're right back with some more hot takes for this special episode of Double Tap this year for the first one of 2025. So don't go anywhere. Be right back. All right, and we are back after some extensive talking with my coach in my corner. I was told that actually we have an announcement to make. We're actually this is something that's been going on in the works for a bit, and for the scheduling for the show. We're actually going to be moving the Double Tap show from a weekly schedule to a bi-weekly because we've got some things in the works that we want to try out, and the scheduling I think is going to work out for all the talent here and all the work that gets put in on the show here. But we're going to make it as a formal announcement for you guys starting here in 2025 that the show will be going to bi-weekly, so we won't be getting one every week, which means good news. We get to do more news when the 2 weeks come out. Bad news, it won't be as often, but we get to not deal with getting news happening literally the next day or as soon as we hit stop recording on the show. We likely get to catch a little bit more and get to build up the show a bit more on that. But we wanted to give you guys the announcement that is going on. That's gonna be effective after this episode.
Immediately,
so be on the lookout there. So don't worry, your Spotify's not broken. We're still gonna be everywhere. It's going to be happening every other week. All right.
And all
right, let's get back.
I just want to also mention that does not include like bonus rounds. Like sometimes there will be a bonus round on the off week, depending on what's happening or if we have a guest or anything like that. So yeah,
surprise trailer. Let's check it out. Stuff like that for sure. That's not gonna change up there. But just the core episode count is gonna slow down a little bit this year. But it's all good though. We'll still give you guys the content. We'll still cover the nonsense, the hype moments, and the salt, of course. Speaking of salt, let's get back into this. Static.
Yes.
You've been on you actually are the newest member of the show.
Oh, wow.
Technically.
Holy
Still
cow.
the newest member because you joined shortly after. It was like 2018. It was like after Evo Japan.
Yeah.
It's kind of like with like your mark because I'll forever give you props for literally this guy went to Evo Japan with me, left before me, went home the same day. I'm talking to him on the phone. After a flight, he still jumps on the show to record.
I ran out of gas too on the way to Mezza's house.
Yeah, you ran out of gas.
Yeah.
Like, and he still made the show.
Yeah.
Forever props.
How did I
to
run out of
Static
gas?
for
Because
talking.
Car said 50 miles to empty. Car lied. And,
Yeah.
So
You can't trust that. That's like frame data. You don't trust that shit.
But also, the actual arrow was not on E when I started the car. So yeah, it's a truck. Anyway, doesn't matter. Hot take: don't drive with low gas. No.
Yeah, don't drive with low gas. This is good advice. This is good advice,
Good
dog.
advice. So it's been I don't know if I want to go with a hot topic of recent, but I'm just going to Guilty Gear Strive. Like a lot of Strive stuff has been happening. It's the oldest game that's most competitive right now. It is currently on all major platforms. It's still getting supported, still got characters, but I want to start with how I feel that the game actually has aged poorly. And that's my
that is a hot take.
Yes.
Is it? I think it has two, honestly.
Oh,
I'm
really?
with him.
Okay.
I think it has two.
So here's
Like,
here's my thing. Like, so for instance, at the start of the game, we thought it was a little bit better that they made things simpler. For instance, like execution wise or even input wise. For instance, I play Eno, who's been having a lot of different execution levels, but again, there's also been like the whole let's take away the cheap move aspect, but let's add bigger moves to everybody. And I think that after a lot of time adding all these moves, because they're trying to sort of fill in those gaps that they took away, has actually been a detriment to the game. For instance, like I said, dumbing down the game at the start, execution wise and input wise, has caused the game to have just balancing issues. And then they'll take away the things that they felt were too strong, like things that Axel had, which causes for, let's say, a player to come back in that hasn't practiced and is like, yo, what happened to my moves? That sort of issue would occur.
So you're saying it came out strong out the gate and
Of
it
course.
just has been a decline since. You don't think it's gotten better?
I
don't think it's got better because they put in Wild Assault and defense shield, whatever it is, deflect shield, and they had to take it away almost. Like they took away the hard knockdowns on the wall. And
they had to tweak it.
Well, they had to because it was too easy.
Oh
and
yeah,
too free.
it was too good. But it's just like.
But that's the beauty of it. That you know what's funny? I was actually on the other side. My take for Strive was gonna be, I think it's overhated. Actually,
I don't think it's overhated. I think it's actually appropriately discussed and debated.
it's appropriately shat on. There's just the right amount of turds right on top of it.
I just think this version of Strive that we're playing on right now is not as good as a previous version of Strive that we played previously. But also, that's just how I think of it. Like, I think this version of Strive is not as good as a previous version of Strive.
Okay, I could see that. I could see the direction kind of being pulled a little too far one way. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I think Guard Crush is the dumbest fucking
because
mechanic in the whole fucking game that has ever been introduced.
I think I don't use it enough with Eno.
And having a character like Gold Lewis that literally revolves around that is like kind of stupid. And then when season 4, they just said, yeah, you think that's stupid? Fucking hold my beer. Let me crank this to 11 and now let him do it 18 million times. I'm like, I was like, I don't know what they're smoking. I really don't know.
In this behemoth typhoon.
Straight up. Like, oh my God, in my dreams.
But yeah, I feel like it's aged poorly to the point where it's like, I mean, look at how they massacred Potemkin and then brought him back. And it's sort of like their decision making, it's like they don't know what to do now after it's been out for 4 years, excuse me. But but this is coming from somebody who's played since PlayStation 1. So like I've come from the bad first version of the game to the
and
X.
still we're a fan.
Yeah,
still we're a fan.
Right.
What I'm hearing from you, like from a
Soul
fighting
bad guy,
game,
yes, you're right. Soul bad guy.
From a fighting game perspective, I think your take makes like sense to a degree. But I feel like what you're experiencing is live service games. Like you're experiencing a live service game and fighting game format. Like, you play Overwatch. How many times have they destroyed a character in Overwatch and made them like, well, not very like fun to play, not very effective, or they made changes.
Lifestyle.
Yeah.
Metro through the years.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know what the fuck to do.
Through the years, made
this
them
bitch
so
can
that
teleport,
they're so
you can't
good.
Teleport. What's going on?
Made them they're so good that you have to kind of play them or that you want to play them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I feel like that is the what happens in live service games. As the game progresses, the developers are looking at data. The narrative I kind of hate in games in general is that these devs don't know what they're doing, except the Overwatch team. But like these devs don't know what they're doing. These devs don't know what they're doing. It's been 8 years, y'all. They've had enough time. But like,
they had 2 games.
What's typically happening is that the devs are looking at the data, right? They're not just looking at how you feel during your match, which they should be taking that into consideration, how it feels to play the game, but they're looking at a lot of data and deciding to make these changes. And I feel like Strive has almost set this blueprint for the live service fighting game, because what other game is adding moves now, or adding mechanics in season
adding
2?
rollback after feedback. Season 3 and adding rollback and taking feed. That's the other side of the coin that I was just kind of saying is like, it could be overhated as how it is now. So it's just like getting shat on. And I'm like, yo, it did a lot for what we are now. Now, for whether or not you think it's for better or for worse, for your interpretation, but I mean, paved the way for standards and netcode, right? Had no choice, right? COVID still a big factor in it, duh. Taking a chance with like their feedback system that they've been doing since the rip, since that first beta. They were like, what do you guys think? I mean, don't get me wrong, they fucking seem to ignore everyone saying your UI fucking sucks outside of like the character select. They changed that shit. If y'all remember the fucking catastrophe and war crime that was that UI in the beginning, and then they were like, we need to guilty gear this shit up because this is like, I don't know what it is anymore. And actually like really communicating and being transparent with the community, like, yo, we fucked up. Potemkin being the latest example. They put something out. Everyone was like, you did what? Excuse me? Did you just make this character hard? Like you took away the hard part of him and made him like just gutted him for all the people. Already a character that isn't like used a whole lot. Like you got to be a specialist. Like how did that make that? The community just did not take that one. They went, you know what? You got me.
Our bad.
My bad.
Yeah.
Let's just bring it back. Let's just bring back all the other war crimes we just did. And they're really listening. Like, so I was like on the other, that's why I'm like, yo, it's not perfect. I don't want nobody to think my take is like the game is perfect. Far from it. As long as motherfuckers like Happy Chaos exists doing what he does, it's far from a perfect game. But you can't deny that, like, you can shit on all you want, but a lot of companies have been like, it took for one of them to do it, right? Well, yeah. Like it's kind of a thing with Japanese developers specifically. It takes to one of them to do something for the other ones to be like, yeah, we'll try it.
I don't think we're trying to say that Guilty Gear Strive wasn't a big impact in the fighting game community, or it didn't do the things that it needed to do to make it the way that it is. What we're trying to say is because of how the game is designed, developed, and all that, as time has gone on, it's not as fun to play, and it's not as fun to compete in, and the game seemed to vary for a while there, like, I won the first neutral take, cool, you're on the wall, hard knockdown, guess for game, GG, we're done, next round. Literally, hit, win the first neutral, get the wall stick, hard knockdown, guess for game.
One thing I noticed one of the last time I played a bit competitively at my local was the player next to me was like, yeah, you should be challenging that. And once I noticed you didn't challenge it, I just went for it. And I'm just like, wait, you said you did that because I didn't mash hard enough?
100%.
And I was like, oh.
Hot take, mashing is good.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I'm definitely playing lame the next time I play y'all. So yeah, that's.
You should mash and look at them.
Or playing to the meta.
That's okay.
True, but Testament is like A tier now, so we in there.
Yeah, I think
that's right. You got no excuse, Gabe.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's tough because, like, you know, fighting games they've been paying attention to what's happening to other like multiplayer games in the industry, right? Where accessibility is key. Like, make no mistake, League of Legends is not as massive of a game just because it's that good. It was accessible first. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Overwatch, accessible. Call of Duty, very accessible. You know? Yeah. And fighting games want that same thing. But with fighting games, right, like that means you have to, the balancing is just tough because, okay, fine, I have to build a character that a new player can come in and feel effective on. However, the effectiveness of that new player with this character cannot match up to an experienced player on another harder character. You know what I'm saying?
See, I hear you, but then they make Happy Chaos, which does require an insane amount of hand control, and you got to be able to. I hear you and I see you, but I want to just bring up Happy Chaos.
I'm speaking ideally. That's what they kind of want. That's what they want. Is like they want to be able to have these characters for new players to feel comfortable on and feel effective. Because nobody wants to play a character that's easy to do, but then you can't do anything with them. But at the same time, when you come across somebody who's been in this game for 100, 200, 500 hours, and they know another character up and down, your new character or your new player should not be getting as much value or even too much value out of that easy to play character than whether that happens or not is a different story. I'm just saying that's ideally is what they're looking for.
Were you ever really that nice?
I have a hard time agreeing with that sentiment that an easy character should be able to beat a harder character.
Well, I say get too much value because it's not. To me, it's not even about winning or losing, right? It's about how much value you're getting, right?
I get you.
Like, exactly. It's like a 3-hit combo with this character gives me 60%. This character has to do 18 fucking moves to get that same damage. What do you think competitively? Where are they gonna go? They're like, yeah, fuck that. I'm going easy route.
I hear you, but then I think about Noelle Vermillion.
Hands off the just going on everything. And then I think of Virgil. Then I'm thinking, what else?
Yeah, I'm thinking Viper. Like there's because Viper, hard to fuck to use character. But then I could just play Virgil and just
let me hit this X Factor real quick with literally anybody and just body you guys.
And it can't be perfect, right? It can't be like 1-to-1. Like every harder character has to be able to beat new characters. Sometimes that other character, because of their mechanics, just has your number. You know what I'm saying? True. And so maybe you need to pick another hard character to master so you can beat a new player.
It's hard.
You know?
I think we can all agree it's fucking hard. Like it's just hard to design.
It's hard. It's very hard to design. So.
For sure. Ja, you got something you want to get off your chest? Unless that was part of it there, because it seemed like
no. That I didn't see Gabe taking that road. So thank you for giving me more airtime here on this podcast. I'm going to edit later. So yeah, I thought we'd have more takes about like the community in general.
That's coming.
I'm getting to there. It's getting there. I was like, we're getting some games. I was like, let's just get some of the brunt stuff then, and now like. Let's get into that.
Let me get started then.
Let's go. Let me get the sauce out. Go on.
So,
my tapatio.
My biggest take from the fight, not my biggest take, but the main thing I kind of want to come here with is to talk about how much the fighting game community contradicts itself. Right? They say one thing, and then their actions say something completely different. And I'm coming from this from a perspective of someone who's been involved in multiple competitive communities, right? Across multiple genres, and has done multiple like podcasts, competitive and community, across multiple games, right? The fighting game community is very unique in how everything works, to a degree, right? And when I say they kind of contradict themselves, like, the FGC constantly wants bigger tournaments. They want bigger prize pools. right? Understandable. You want that esports, like that esports glimmer. I get it. It's nice. You know, it's warm over there. But like at the same time, there, like whenever there's opportunities to bring new players into the FGC, it gets gatekept. Like think about the dialogue around Sparking Zero. You know, like I understand why we know why Gabe doesn't like Sparking Zero.
We know.
We can thank David for that.
We know.
Yeah.
David.
Yeah. But at the same time, he wasn't the only one. There was tons of people like, oh, it's not a fighting game. It's not a fighting game. It's not a fighting game. When I'm not saying make Sparking Zero the Evo header. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe whatever that topic is, but like, you should be encouraging. Like, that should have been more of encouraging. Like, okay, you like this type of game? Take a look at this. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, you can transfer from Sparking Zero to this game kind of like this, you know what I'm saying? Like looking for like a bridge, right? Anytime like, you know, a game tries to make mechanics that make it easier for newer players, there's always kind of like complaints. And sometimes the complaints are legit, like it negates, you know, these certain tactics or these skills or something like that. But sometimes it's just kind of like, and a lot of the discourse is like, no, they need to suffer like I suffered. You know?
It's like, well, yeah, I get it.
They need to suffer.
but first of all, like this is when it gets like old man shit. It's like, yo, you didn't suffer like you motherfuckers still don't remember. Some of y'all still don't know what a fucking arcade was, and actually like having motherfuckers yelling at you, you can like smell, and like you can practically smell what they have for breakfast behind you, just clowning the shit out of you while they're playing your boy and stuff, and being in that kind of position just because you're just trying to be nice, right? Like straight up, it's like that I hate the idea of it, because things like you said, like certain factors like execution, right? Execution isn't there for me. Execution is not there to prevent people from experiencing fighting games at their core. That's not what that's there for. It's just a part of the foundation of the experience of it, being able to execute when it's required for you to win. That's not just a fighting game thing. That's fucking anywhere. Any competitive thing. A clutch is celebrated in Valorant and CS in shooters or in any other competitive. And a clutch is literally the definition of executing when you had to.
Right.
Like that's it.
It's just there's a reason why like charge inputs exist for characters. There's like a clear defined reason.
Is there?
Yeah, well,
charge inputs shouldn't exist. That's my hot take.
Charging shouldn't exist. I mean, because like imagine if Guile could just sonic boom on just.
We did. It was called Super Street Fighter 4 3DS.
Yeah,
and man,
exactly.
did those bots destroy motherfuckers.
So like the reason why the sonic boom can be the way it is because it's a charge. Same thing with the flash kick. Why the flash kick can do like because you have to charge it. Like they're like, but when you take like, and even in modern mode, there's a reason why you still have to charge. Even in modern, like there is you have to charge it. Which I think the thing is, I agree that games should be more approachable to people. But I think you can't just throw shit in there and it just be like, we gave you an auto combo. Auto combo is like the most bare fucking bones, like throwaway thing that's not actually useful and will not get people to actually stay around and keep playing your game.
I'm split on that because I think we actually have the best system for that already exists, and it exists in fucking Granblue. Because Granblue has been able to kind of hit the mark. The only problem that Granblue had is like they had those great kind of shortcuts to be able to execute. The problem is that when now you're dealing with optimization versus, you know, when you do use that system versus another, you're skewing it too much, and that becomes a problem. Right,
and I just want to clear out. Call it just like when your only thing is auto combo. Like if you have auto combo cannot be the. We made it accessible for everyone. See, we tried. No, you fucking didn't. Like,
once again, mashing is good.
So,
mashing is
like,
good.
That's what I'm saying.
Good example of that is Dragon Ball. How Dragon Ball was on day one because Kid Buu was doing Y, where the second move, the orb move was an overhead. So you're like, oh, and then if you did something different, you still got crossed up. So it was like, like, are they getting away with it? But I think that's a good game, in my opinion, of how auto combo should be used as a tool to maybe fix the combo or however it was done in that game, and then power creep settled in.
Right, but and so to get back to Jaw's point though, like the FGC gatekeeps a lot.
Of course.
Period.
It's one of the most frustrating things because, like, you know, never will I turn anyone away from coming to an event. Never. I don't think, like, at any point. People that even have like the inklings, like, yo, you like this IP? You should come over here and play this game because it's the game that, you know, you like, and you like these characters because people, you know, will gravitate towards characters they like, and they'll put some effort and stuff like that when it's like their favorite character or whatever. And like, then you get the dichotomy that still exists where it's like, you know, no, like we don't want you to be able to just jump in and just body. And it's like, yo,
I'll at least say this. I think like fighting games nowadays are better. Like the games themselves are better at not gatekeeping players out anymore like it used to be. But the problem is, I think the community itself is more gatekeeping. I think the games have been more accessible than they've ever fucking been in their entire existence.
Absolutely.
And I think anyone can like pick up a fighting game nowadays versus I don't think anyone could have picked up, I don't know.
And that's the important part is like the community aspect. So like,
I'll argue Marvel 2 is actually, I'll argue Marvel 2 is like anyone can pick that up.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway.
Yeah.
So I'll tell a quick story about how like I got involved in like competitive Unreal Tournament, right? So like I used to think I was the shit in Unreal Tournament, as we all do in these games when you're beating the shit out of like randos, right? And then one day I find this server, it only has 8 playable slots and then 2 spectator slots. I'm like, what's going on? These guys are playing TDM. I go into this server, I'm sitting in the spectator slot, and like from the look of it, I'm like, okay, they're playing TDM, and as soon as I get a chance, I get in. When I tell you I could not move 5 steps without getting my head blown off in this game. Like, and like, you know, this just happened to me the entire round. Like I couldn't even see my killers. Like I would literally just be walking and respawn. If you know how that game works, as soon as you die, it's instant respawn.
Spectator mode?
No, not in spectator mode. Like once I got into the game. And so once the round was done, nobody said anything to me. They just kicked me off the server, right? Yeah. Nobody said anything to me, right?
You are ass.
And so they just kicked me off the server, but they didn't ban me from the server. And I came back the next day, saying like I lived a little bit longer, and then I came back the next day, and then eventually, like I think it was like a week later, I finally killed somebody, and somebody was like, "Oh shit, he did it!" Like in the server, right? And then it was like, oh, like the whole server was like kind of laughing. Well, the whole server was only like 10 people in there at the time, but they were laughing. They're like, oh, congratulations. And then after that round, they told me where to go to connect with the rest of the community. And that's how I got involved in the competitive Unreal Tournament. Now, if I went into that server the first time, got shat on, because that's exactly what happened to me. I got fucking shat on, and they were just dogging me for it. I wouldn't have bothered. Like, why would I go back there? You know? So like that's kind of the way I look at it. Like even if somebody is like really bad, you know, you don't have to make them feel bad for being bad unless they're being a dickhead about it. You know what I'm saying? You get somebody that comes in there like, oh, you guys are cheating somehow or some shit like that. It's like you gotta let them know. But like the community response to players is, especially newer players, is a huge part of gatekeeping. I don't think people realize it.
I think a lot of the time it depends on how much the person likes the game these days, though. Because a lot of people just play it because it's, look at MVCI Beyond. A lot of people are playing it because it is the new hot thing with the new hot, like,
the flash of the pan right now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got a visual update. It looks pretty, so people are playing it. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, once they get beat by somebody who's played the game, loves the game, does their love of the game still exist? Like, John, did you love the game while you were getting beat by those 5-second headshots?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, first of all, the competitive community, the competitive aspect of the community, I want to say, I do think there's a difference between the FGC and the competitive aspect of the FGC, right? The competitive aspect of the community, like, that's not for everybody. That's not going to be for everybody.
So built a certain way. Like, it's competition. I had no issue with Menardi throwing his shirt in Street Fighter League to the other team after he bodied them, and was just like, I had absolutely no problem with it.
Right.
Yeah, like, motherfuckers is like, physical assault, this and that. I'm like, bro, you know what we're there for. You know what you have to be there ready to take whatever your opponent throws at you, both figuratively and apparently literally now, because the player base is here to beat each other. That's at its core. That's what it is. It's
well,
about
also,
competition.
I don't know. I compare fighting games to a lot like tennis. Like you have to have a really strong mental to play both of those, especially if you're playing singles tennis, which fighting games might as well just be singles tennis or eventually doubles with, whatever. But like people, like if you see like professional tennis players sometimes and the rage and the passion, I'm like, that's the FGC like to
I've seen some rackets get destroyed. I've seen some rackets. I was like, just change that with a joystick, and I'm like, it's the same thing.
You gotta be built like for the mental like that for a fighting game, because there's no hiding. There's no hiding on that screen. Everyone sees everything. Everyone sees every movement. Everyone sees every button press. We can even go back. We can go back into your replay now and be like, turn inputs on. Show me how much you were fucking mashing here. Like, there's no hiding. You can't hide behind anything.
Did you mash DI during my combo? Like
exactly.
Like, no.
Like you can't hide. Like
survey says. Liar.
So you have to literally, you're displaying your entire like personality and mental fortitude and physical capability all right there, and that's not for everyone.
Right. Yeah.
Like
and that's the trip, because kind of like bringing this full circle with like the whole talks that we've been doing this for fucking 10 years now. It's like now more than ever. I'm like, why? Like, is it like I'm trying to understand where that got lost at in translation? Like, did we just do a bad job and not telling motherfuckers, like not even just telling, because it's something you have to be built, like you said earlier, Mike, like you have to be cut from that cloth to be able to deal with that. But like, aren't we kind of shouting it from the rooftops like, yo, it is on you when you're playing, it's on you. There is no one to fall back on. There's no teammate to blame until 2XKO comes out. Keep putting that asterisk out there. There's no teammate, like unless you're playing singles, double asterisk.
There's no teammate. Street Fighter Cross Second doubles. Street Fighter Cross Second.
Yeah, true that. But there was a 1v1 version of it, so whatever.
True.
Like it's been very well shown off, but it's like I feel like now I'm like I don't understand where the downhill. The game has been more accessible, yet the ability to deal with has gotten worse and worse and worse. And also places like fucking Twitter and shit does not help. I'll tell you right now.
I was gonna say social media. You could get blown up on Twitter,
Reddit. Those places are the fucking worst for beginners. I'll tell you right now. Call that a hot take or whatever. That's like the worst place for. If you're just starting out, just stay the fuck away.
Oh, I learned.
Just go to your locals. Go play, watch your YouTube videos, get your combo up, stay online, grind, go to tournaments. Stay the fuck off of Twitter.
I learned early. I got crossed up by Blanca online back in Street Fighter 4. And I was like, yo, why does it keep hitting back of my head? I went to GameSpot forums and complained. Yeah. And,
you were the progenitor of it?
The next comment, the next thing in the thread, like it was a thread I made, and the next comment was, I can't believe somebody's complaining about cross-ups. And I'm like, huh. Right. Guess I need to start blocking.
Social media is a little worse though, because I think there was like somebody, I forget her name, but she was playing Street Fighter 6, I think. And I think she made it to like silver or something like that. She was happy that she made it silver.
Oh, was that
and then like a bunch of people just came in like shattering her for being in silver. Like, dude, are you serious?
Damn,
like,
son.
Yo,
come over here and laugh while they celebrate.
Yeah, like it's unnecessary. Like it doesn't help. I guess maybe it doesn't make them feel good in that short period of time. You know what I'm saying? Or I think, and this is not just FGC specific. Like kind of sometimes like people who play games competitively have this idealistic like we need to keep the competition pure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like come on, dog. Competition is competition. I don't give a fuck. Like those that are in it and are about it, they're going to stay. They're gonna get bodied. They're going to go 0-2. They're going to hit the static bracket. They're going to continue on.
Yes, thanks.
Like, it is what it is. They will stay. But it's like, the goal, I think, in our time I think the goal is that we're supposed to be creating that environment that allows for them to get bodied and be like, yo, this is what, I see it. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, because it does exist. Some people get bodied. Some people don't know proper, etiquette. You get off the stage, like maybe some people are like, don't talk to me for 30 seconds. Like, don't run up on me like, yo, you should have blocked it. Like, no shit, right? That's an easy way to get fucked up at a tournament.
Yeah, don't sing game over songs to your friend.
So this went from hot takes to let's tell the FGC they could be better.
It can be. The hot take is we definitely need to be better. I think we're in okay spots, but I think we're in a downward trend in terms of how the community as a community is.
I'm gonna say when 2XKO comes out, people are really gonna have to fucking
Motherfuckers gonna get a wake up call.
Like, people are gonna have to like, if you want people to stick around with that fighting game, like, you cannot be gatekeeping people, because you are gonna get some really people who don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like,
Right. Yep.
And we don't want them to run away, though. We need them to keep funneling the game, so that way we can keep it going.
You need
like,
and I'm not saying like you gotta be nice to everybody. You gotta let everybody in, because the thing about competitive communities, we've been kind of like, you know, hammering in that it's not for everybody, but you can't, like, one of the reasons you have to be gatekeepy somewhat is like you can't have just somebody come in like, oh, I don't like the way that we're playing this game, we need to play it this way or something like that, and it adds a lot of noise. It adds a lot of noise to the discourse or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we need to ban certain characters at fighting game tournaments, and
that's definitely something I feel that comes from the Smash scene.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we need to ban these stages because it's not fair, or it's a walk-off stage, or even like banning characters where Meta Knight was banned, but those games, they want to ban timer scammers, and it's like, no, catch me.
Poke floats should be banned. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Hot take. Put it on there. That's hot take number 7. Hot take number 7 right there.
100%. Best song, worst stage.
At the same time, it's like, you know, you don't have to like make it a bad time for somebody. You know what I'm saying? Right. You beat them, they're having a bad enough time. Trust me.
You know what it is.
You know,
Trust. They feel like shit already. You don't have to just,
you know, you don't have to, like, you know, and don't get me wrong, I've like destroyed somebody in a match and then sent that Xbox message after. You know what I'm saying? I've done that in the past. Yep. I'm not a saint here. I'm just saying it was unnecessary when I did it. It's still unnecessary.
You know what the feel good moment though is sometimes is when you have a really close match and like you just clutch it and your opponent's like, damn, that was good. You got me.
Yeah,
like,
that's the right attitude.
Like,
that's the right attitude.
I had that at a tournament, and we just both like just shook. Like, I was like, that was sick. That was really good.
like fighting games are inherently about learning, overcoming perceived limitations, right? Like, and being surprised no matter how many times you get into the freaking ring, right, into the match with somebody. Yeah. You know, as much as we lower the barrier, it's like it's certain that's a breed that it attracts. But yeah, that's the overwhelmingly long hot take. But with that, we're gonna be taking a quick break. We come back, we're gonna get some like last little tidbits in, and then we're gonna talk about the future, or what we're hoping to see in the future. So go anywhere. Be right back. All right, and we are back at the tail end of some of the hot takes here. I'll throw a quick one right out there. Picking a low tier is not an option select. You did that to yourself. I don't want to hear it afterwards. If you pick a low tier character and you get beat, you are not allowed to be like, oh, I lost because of the character.
100%.
You fucking picked them.
100%.
You chose to deal with that shit. Right. You chose to have half the tools that the other character had. Yep. So you can hold that.
I will pick Panda all the time, and I will own that. I'm picking.
I was gonna say Mikey. Yeah, I was about to say, Mikey, you in the top 50%, and you hitting the low tiers.
Didn't you make top 500 Evo?
Yeah, like 500. You're like,
I don't remember.
Top 500. Don't listen
low tier,
to the Panda God here.
Yeah,
telling you not to pick his character.
Now this is what we call downplaying. He's just downplaying the character.
Kuma won TWT, so you really should be playing Kuma, not Panda.
He just was like, I gotta have it on deck just in case.
He just wants Panda.
It's the wrong bear, dog. It's the wrong bear.
No, like if you pick low tier, it's on you. Like it really is. Like you just. You need to understand that, especially in some games, if you're playing at the highest level, Marvel, like if you play Marvel 2 and you're not picking high tier, don't expect much. Like, what are you doing? Like but if you're playing for fun or you're just wanting to see how far you get, cool. Yeah. But do not like be like, oh, well, I played low tier, so you know. No, you knew what.
Then you are ass, and your character is also ass.
Not necessarily
like,
that.
Sorry, dog.
It's not that maybe you're ass, but like you need to realize like this game meta, that the current game meta might not be for you, but like who knows? Patches have definitely fucking changed that. So it's not like something's ass one season and then it's fucking god tier the next. So
I've never, having the conversation of like characters in seasons or in patches being like much more common.
Yeah.
Like, yo, man, this character is like so nice. Like, oh, you think this character's nice? Like, season 2, this character was a fucking war crime. It was like, what?
Remember when they came out with Ultra Street Fighter 4 and you could play with any of the versions of any of the characters? And you could pick Vanilla Sagat.
Vanilla Sagat
is
2 DPs, you're dizzy, like it's over, like the game is actually done.
That was my main too.
That was
I bet it was.
Yeah.
I bet it was.
You know what? Hot take right here. I think season versions of characters should be a norm.
No, I think it should be known for casual play, not competitive play.
I don't know. No. I say that's bullshit, Mikey, because Super Street Fighter 2's done it for decades. You can go to Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, pick Vanilla Sagat, Super Sagat, Hyper Fighting Ken. You can pick the version of the character and fight whatever fucking version of your character, and nobody gives a shit, and it's been running forever. I think that should be a norm.
That'd be like saying I should play Second Impact Sean while you're playing Third Strike Yun.
Damn, that's
exactly. Let me play Third Strike Yun.
No, but like Second Impact Sean is pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah. There we go. That's the beauty of it. What character really is crazier? You say it was good, but is it really?
I don't think you want to deal with Second Impact characters in Third Strike, is what I'm telling you.
Cammy, what is it? Super Street Fighter 4 Cammy was unexplored.
Marvel 3 Dante Helmbreaker again?
Yeah.
Full invo just coming down overhead, like you just can't do nothing about it. No,
and so this is why I say it's okay for casual, not competitive. Competitive should be allowed at the current state of what the game is in at the current time that's being.
But intended. you know why I still think I for me it's because I like shit like tier list fucking refresh just as much as patches do all the time, right? Like it just a patch is coming, here comes a new wave of fucking tier list, right? And I'm like, you know what? I would love for it to be the norm so we can look back at all those tier lists and be like, let's see who is actually right.
Tier lists are just clickbaity videos. Can we just move on? Like tier list
videos should go away. That a hot take?
They're just fucking clickbait videos, and let's just move on.
That's right. They're clickbait. That's why we're gonna have a
yeah. So sorry to tell you, Mikey.
Instead,
we're gonna
do a tier list podcast.
And Mikey's gonna VO over all of it. We haven't told you yet.
Absolutely not.
Tier list by Mikey. Mikey Tops for here, your top tiers.
You cannot call it Mikey Tops.
I was gonna say you're on dangerous.
I know what I did. I know what I did. That's why I've been on this show for 10 years. I know what I'm doing. All right. So, with that, I mean, unless there's any lingerings here, I got one more subject to kind of.
Well, I was gonna bounce off of yours a little bit.
Oh, what you got?
So here's the deal. I have my window over here, and like just because I was gonna say because we're seeing a lot of discourse between Street Fighter 6, 5, and 4. Just because you're the only player playing,
nostalgia.
And the thing is, just because you're the only player playing doesn't make you the best at it right now. And also, like for instance, Super Scroll is not higher on the tier list because all the best players quit, so to speak. So I don't know if that's a hot take or if I'm just spitting facts.
Or it's a PSA, just because you're playing a dead game doesn't mean you're the top player in that game.
Right. Just
you're
because
the top player of the game at the current time.
Right. Just because there's two Morgans that still play the game, but what I'm saying, I only say that because it's, we're seeing that with the Street Fighter 6 to 4 sort of anger. Like everybody talks about the old games being better. Everybody always talks about Pokemon.
Yeah, the Street Fighter 5. Hold up, the Street Fighter 5
Yeah.
talk lately. I was like looking around like, who is saying these things?
Yeah.
Do you not remember even the beta that literally could not work? The 2 years of the game just being terrible. Did it eventually become a good game? Yes.
So
it took, but like they go back with these rosy colored fucking glasses of nostalgia, which I guess fighting games will forever be that. Is always about nostalgia with them. And they're like, yo, Street Fighter 5 was like a good game.
And sometimes
where were you when it was out then?
Sometimes
where were you in the tournaments or fucking waving the flag for it?
I'd say one thing to defend Street Fighter 5 is their music. Maybe you just miss the music that much to your fighting. Because I like the music.
But so to kind of finish things off, or kind of like a tail end thing that I wanted to talk about, because we've been in the mix for so long. It's like it's looking back at like how we've covered events. We've had like so many guests on, so many games have released since we've been doing this. which like completely just like blows my mind. Like, what are like your hopes for like the next 10 years for fighting games? I know it's like very vague and it's kind of big. So if there was one thing you like, hopefully you would hope catches on or would change, or you're looking like, because you're gonna look back in 10 years and be like, yo, remember when fucking Street Fighter 6 came out? That game was like the best. It was like it was the Street Fighter 4 of our time. Or for some people, it was the Street Fighter 4, right?
Oh, I hope it's Street Fighter 3 of our time.
What, 5? No. You think? That's a hot take if it was one. I think that qualifies.
I guess what I want to say is I want Street Fighter 6 to be whatever its final form is to last as long as Third Strike has.
Oh, just to continue. Like 20 years.
Well, like I eventually it'll stop, right? 6 eventually does have to stop, and we'll get a 7 at some point.
Yeah,
but I'm hoping 6 has been a really good game, so I'm hoping it can stick the landing on its updates and everything, and whatever its final version is can be the next modern day Third Strike is what I'm hoping for. Can
transcend and still be played and still have a hardcore community and still kind of have a legend to it.
Right, because I don't think we've had a game do that in a long time. I don't think we've had a legacy like Marvel 2, Third Strike, maybe Marvel 3. Maybe Marvel 3 can be said for that.
I think Marvel 3 could.
But like, I don't think there's been a game that has stood a test of time like MVC 2 or Third Strike and maybe Marvel 3 has. And I hope maybe 6 can be that.
You know, one of the reasons why it definitely like sticks harder too is because it was just like, you know, things like the tapes, the footage that was like, you know, the things of legend that people passed around that like you would only hear about, or maybe you did see, like, are pretty timeless. So those kind of support those moments. Like Third Strike still did it again, moment 38 or whatever you want to call it, right? You know, that happened in Evo last year, like just helps embolden that. Marvel 3 has that too, because Marvel 3 had like such a cutthroat competitive scene. It has so many highlights to it, right? Shit talking that went down, you know, great grudge matches. There's plenty of footage out there. So I think it will transcend because of those moments that people can still look back on and kind of like reference. 6 hasn't gotten, I don't think 6 has gotten that yet. But if it does, I think it'll have those ingredients to kind of transcend and kind of continue on, like you said. Because what do people think when they think those games? Marvel 2, you'll think of fucking Yipes' commentary. You'll think of Justin Wong. Oh my God, right? Third Strike, you're thinking of Moment 37. You're thinking of like just some of the crazy videos that have popped out, right? 4 is the same deal too.
Right. And I'm going to say this. I'm not a Punk fan typically. Like he's okay. But the fact that the story of him finally winning Evo, like, and it's, you know, it's that, right? Like, to me, that's
absolutely. That's definitely one point. Absolutely.
That's one point. But also, you got to remember, Street Fighter 6 is still, we're going into year 3.
Yeah, going to year 3.
So, and we still don't have
Costume 4. I know it's a goddamn travesty.
We're not going to be sorry about the cosmetic issues of Street Fighter 6. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm hoping in 10 years we'll have, and maybe it's not Street Fighter 6, whatever it is. I'm hoping we get another game that can be a legacy game, because I don't feel like we've had a legacy game that has stood the test of time. And honestly, I don't think a Tekken's gonna do it, because they always iterate on each other, so you just move to the next one. And I don't think Guilty Gear Strive is gonna stand the test of time. I just don't think it is. It's just not. So
maybe not this version.
No,
maybe not this version.
I just hope whatever Street Fighter, whatever the next thing or something in the next 10 years can be, because it can't just. I would hate to say that Marvel 2 and Third Strike and maybe Marvel 3 are going to be the only things that last forever.
And Street Fighter 4, you gotta keep.
I don't think 4. I don't know about 4, man. Does 4 really? Does 4 really stand? Ultra. Does Ultra
like by the end of it,
the test of time?
By the end of it,
with Elena and everything, and Yoon and Arcade Edition and everything.
I think by the end. I mean, if anything, if I were to pick a version, I would say Super.
Well, correct, but we ended on Ultra, and I do not think Ultra is probably one of the worst versions of Street Fighter 4.
Y'all hating on DiCaprio?
I'm just saying, like, I don't think 4 holds the legacy that Third Strike or Marvel 2 does.
No,
I would
that
like
makes
to
sense.
see. I would like to see in the next 10 years a game hold a candle to those two and take that longevity.
Okay. Yeah, I think Marvel 3 is a solid Prince right now, for sure. I think it could be that in the future. For me, if I were to pick for 10 years, like what I'm hoping to see, I'm hoping a standard, man. We are like I've voiced this plenty of times, but it's because there's a reason for it. It's like us still being plagued by consoles, by not having standards, by not being this coordinated effort as a community, or having these standards that like all these other communities and all these other thriving esports, even smaller esports have, and yet we still bicker about this and don't come together as a community to make that decision, or even have those comms with, like being able to be organized enough to have those comms with developers to just like this is what we're doing. And like if we're still in the state where we're like on the PS fucking 13 or whatever, and it's still melting USB type G's or whatever, like it's gonna be like I will lose my mind. Yeah. I will actually be like, fuck, I'll look back and be like, we fucking just never learned. Like we never ever learned. I think we're like just at the precipice of it potentially being like, technology is definitely a factor in it. Where poverty, it is what it is. 10 years of doing this, I'll tell you right now, we are still fucking poverty. Like it has not changed there. I mean, the bills have gone up. The inflation is crazy. It was going, but we're still paying the same amount. We're paying triple the amount of money for the same tournaments 10 years later. That's just a fact.
That's just a fact. That's where I was gonna go. It's like there's no, even if a person does win, what is the reward? Because
the title. That honestly, I mean, there's no money, but like honestly, but like spade to spade. Like you do need money nowadays. Like I agree with that 100%. But like honestly, like what's the reward? You're the fucking best. Like that's it for the most part.
Like, so I remember Atlas and NetherRealm would drop like 10K onto a Big E tournament, just out of nowhere. Like they had the money on the side and said, hey, boom, this is going to this is a pop bonus, top 3 or top 8. And I was like, damn. And then also, yes, being the best. However, Liberal Terminator just won Marvel 3 at Combo Breaker, but he won like 6 or 7K, while there was more money in the auction tournament.
Well, that's a community thing.
I can't help fighting game players will throw lots of money at an auction tournament.
Yeah, bro. That's economics. Motherfuckers will pay for that Tron. Like it is what it is.
Yeah, and then but for me, I think I just wanted to, on a different note, the same type of deal. I want it to be worth our while for whether it's a spectator or whether it's a bracket runner or bracket goer, not runner. Because like for me, I've been going to the tournaments, but I'm not really doing anything. And I'm like contemplating, like maybe I should just run a bracket. Maybe I should get into commentary so that I can get something out of it. Or like if I go to Combo Breaker, what am I getting out of it? Competing and then sulking the whole weekend. Or
you don't want to hang out with the homies?
Listen, I might travel an hour north to Six Flags.
It isn't the friends and the trip and the friends that are really the true treasure. Is that not really the first place prize?
Are they
the friends you make along the way?
Are they your friends? Because until the match is over, they're not my friends.
Like, fuck you,
exactly. No, but you're right though. But like at the same time, like I was traveling alone last year. Like all I did was sit with Curtis at the Perler Bead spot because the Dynamic Custom Beadwork, shout out, because he's the homie. But then again, I still got to find a way home or find out who's eating, who's this. It's just.
So you just want like a healthier ecosystem when it comes to like those efforts that players are putting in?
Yeah, and there was always something that everybody wanted to do, whether it's an exhibition match that's happening in the main game. There's also a lot of games happening at those at Combo Breaker and other events like that, whereas everybody's doing so many different activities, and it's just like, what is everybody looking forward to that everybody can sort of do? And I don't know, it's just not worth a while for everyone to do because everybody went to Evo last year to go ahead and watch the grand finals in a room all together with all their friends, and we had to line up for stuff. We had a big old line. Mikey was there. He saw the line.
I was actually sick in my hotel room.
Oh,
so I did not.
Mikey saw the line from space.
I watched Evo finals on my phone in bed, trying not to vomit.
Oh,
so
from all that panda play. He was so sick, so sick with it. What about you, Ja? You've kind of been the ultimate spectator of the scene since the start of the show, right? This is for anyone doesn't know. This is Ja's baby. This is Ja's baby. He's the one that was like, yo, you guys should do a show. He started this shit, so blame him. But he's been, honestly, you've been in the mix with us for it, man. But like, so you see it from a different lens, like in 10 years, what's like the one biggest thing that you would love to see change?
I mean, I always say I'm the greatest spectator in the FGC. That's my title. Absolutely. Come at me, bro. Like, come get it.
Get you a shirt. Get you a shirt. Don't worry. Yeah,
but I mean, the thing I would like to see more in the FGC is, and this kind of goes in with what Gabe was saying, right? Is that I believe that what I would like to see is for more members of the FGC to get involved in it versus just participating, as fighters, right? Because you have tons of people who will play a tournament, sign up for a tournament, but you have way less people working the FGC. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and you recently had a conversation, like, of the big tournament runners. Like, we don't see anybody new kind of popping up in that space, right?
Nope.
You don't. Oh, you got somebody in the game?
And if they do, they're like, "Oh, it's just single elimination tournament," and it's like, "What are you talking about, dude?" Yeah. So like, stuff like that makes me laugh.
Like, for these things to work, right? Because like I come from competitive communities before they went corporate, right? Mm-hmm. Before Riot took control of League of Legends competitive community or the MOBA competitive community and now made modern esports, right? And those spaces required a lot of work from people in the communities themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, people get upset about, let's say you have a cheater in a game and people get upset because said company doesn't deal with cheater in the game. Bro, we had to make our own anti-cheat. That's how, like, far away we were. Like, that's how far the devs were concerned with the competitive aspect of these games. So, like, when I look at the FGC, like, there could be so much more happening if there are more people kind of involved, because you're either going to spend time or money. That's the thing. If you have the money, then you can put on bigger productions. You can do these things, but if you don't have the money, then you need people who will spend the time to kind of like do these things. And I'm not just talking about across like tournaments, right? So there's people like working in tournaments, but also getting involved in like content creation and unique content creation. Like, not everybody has to try to break down a match.
Not a bunch of fucking talking heads on a show.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't count either. Does not count. I want to make it very clear. Does not count.
Or trials of a combo.
Or dollar combos.
You don't need 100 people talking about the worst things that are happening in the FGC right now, giving the same takes over and over again. Like, you don't need that. Even with this show, right? Like, when I was trying to organize the show, I was trying to organize people who kind of did different things and played different games and had different takes, like the games that Mezza plays. Like, Mezza and Gabe and Dre, they played the same games, but they don't play them primarily, right? Like, not everybody here is playing Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on a Friday night and going 0-2. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not happening. I gotta mess with Gabe every chance I get, man. It's a tradition. It's a tradition.
Tom has made it a tradition. Don't blame us, blame Tom.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I was trying to get some variety in here to a degree, and I hope it shows in the show itself that, with the conversations, that not everybody is always on the same page. But like, you need those unique voices, you need unique ideas. And that means you need more people making content creation. Not making content creation, sorry. I sound like a caveman. Making content.
Content creation.
And
clicks, hashtags.
Right, yeah. And sometimes
engagement.
You just gotta make it just to make it, man. Sometimes you just gotta make it just to make it. Because I mean, flat out, bro, this show did not generate 1 cent for like the first 6 years, I think, at least. Now it at least pays for itself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now it at least pays for itself. So it's like, Yeah, like we would if we were in for the money. Like if you're in it for the money, this ain't it, dog.
And you know, the same can be said.
It's like robbers showed up to my house to rob me. I found them in there. I'd laugh and try to look for money too.
So what's funny, Ja? The same can be said about FGC. If you're in it for the money, everybody else, and because everybody else is like. Everybody else wants first place, and if you're in it for the money,
they want their bag.
Yeah, if you're going to a major to try to pay off your rent, they don't come. They're not here every month, you know.
Like your priorities are fucking wild,
bro.
And then because the motherfuckers that do that, then you go like, okay, you must be playing a top tier, right? Like you better be bringing the cheapest of the cheap because you gotta play. It's kind of like you gotta rap like rent's
or
due.
You are maxed out.
Play like rent is fucking due, son.
Yeah, I feel like with competitive games in general, like if you enjoy competition, you know, you really should be playing for doing something that you're enjoying and trying to take that, you know, I would say maybe the stress of making money off of it, because even in a very well organized league with a lot of money going into it, think of how many people play League of Legends, how many people play League of Legends competitively, and how many people actually get paid to play League of Legends. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing with the FGC, you're talking like within the top 1% of players that are actually going to make money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just like do it for the enjoyment, do it to make friends, do it to enjoy your life. You know,
do it for the free Chipotle.
You still got the card?
Do it for the burrito.
I am never using this card. This is the one thing I got from Evo. I'm never letting this shit go.
And this guy's the top 500 Tekken Panda. You know what I'm saying?
Show it off.
This motherfucker is not giving. I'm never giving this up. Anyway,
guys show up to the club with that. And you're like, flash it real quick. Oh.
I definitely used mine. I used mine, but I think it also my burrito blew up.
You know what? Hot take. They should have like a Chipotle. Like if you make top 500 or you whatever gets you qualified in. As soon as you get off stage, you should be able to walk down a burrito bowl line and just like make your shit as you're getting off of stage. Son.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
Call me Chipotle. I got plenty of these ideas.
I just ate. I gotta play next pool. Like no.
Eat
this roundhouse and eat this bowl while you're at it too.
But that's what I was gonna say. I was like, you know, I think more people should be getting involved, not just like getting involved in the actual infrastructure of the FGC. And the infrastructure of the FGC includes tournaments, obviously, but it also includes content, commentary, cosplayers, artists, all these things like
production management, like things you guys couldn't even like. The average person just has no fucking clue.
And if you think that you can't do it, do know this is not my producing podcasts is not what I prepared to do in life at all. Okay, like it is. If you want to do it, you can do it. Like I hate to sound cliche, but it's like it's gonna take time. It's gonna take practice. It's gonna take like learning, but it's something to do. I mean, if you're interested in doing something content wise, just come into Discord to ask questions. Like we don't bite. Like we'll answer your questions to the best of our ability. You know. So.
And I have one tiny hot take about all of this, and I think 2XKO and Riot is gonna help change it to be what we kind of just said. Because it's using players that are in the community as well to do all of these things to start what they're going to be doing, I'm sure.
It can. I think
it can.
It can. I just don't think the FGC, as it stands right now, is going to like it.
That's the thing. And that's where I'm...
I don't think they're even ready.
And that's what makes it a hot take, because Riot and FGC might not even be a thing. It might just be like, hi, we know what the FGC likes, but we're still Riot Games and da 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 da. And then FGC is like,
We'll see.
Because when you're dealing with these other games and other game communities, like when these other competitive communities, when they get started, they're making videos, they're making guides, they're reading patch notes, they're like all this stuff. And it is kind of like what the FGC needs, you know what I'm saying? Like you need more than like Diaphone telling you how to play a character. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need more than that. Like, and I think 2XKO may bring that, especially if it's good. It's gonna bring people from other genres or other games into the FGC, and they're gonna bring what they know in terms of community management and helping the community to grow with them, which is gonna be helpful if this is what happens, right? That'll be helpful. But with the way the FGC operates right now, I think that there's going to be some static there.
It might be the case where there's FGC, and then there's people go like, it's FGC, then there's Smash, FGC, then there's 2X. We don't know, but it could end up that way.
We'll see.
What I do know though is we want to hear you guys. We want to hear from you guys that have been in the mix however long. Last week, 2 days ago, you just heard about this podcast. We want to hear your hot takes, and we want you guys to post it up. We're gonna be posting it up actually on our social media, but we will be posting it up also on our Discord. Make sure you can join. Make sure to join at doubletap.gg/Discord. Sorry, I completely lost my place for a second there. We'll be posting it up there. And come say hi. Come say what's up. Come join the awesome community there. For all the members that have joined overall, however long the Discord's been going, or actually the new Discord, because it was like split before on the MASH Discord, right? Throwback. Appreciate y'all joining in, constantly posting up articles, posting up takes even as well there, and discussion, conversation, your matches, your hopes and dreams and ambitions and your questions. It's kind of the environment that we want to just see everywhere. It's all about sharing. It's all about that knowledge. It's all about hyping each other up, because it's all about passion. That's really, at the end of the day, that's what the fighting game scene in these 10 years have shown me. It's all about passion, whether it's passion for competition, passion for your character, passion to beat the player, or passion to just do good. That's all it really is at the end of the day. Passion. Yeah, exactly. It's that Static points as a Super Scroll picture in the back that he forever has, because he is the Super Scroll. I cannot think of another player besides. There's like one other Super Scroll player.
There's Mech Warrior. There's Scroll Spawn. There's.
Yeah, there you go. We got Mikey with the panda.
Hey.
Man, if I could pull something out, I would, but I ain't got nothing near me.
My stuff is too far.
My stuff is so gone.
Yeah.
My Zangief statue isn't here yet, or I'd through it.
But appreciate Ja for giving us this opportunity 10 years later that we're still doing it. This came out on a whim. You didn't have to do it. Dealt with a lot of bullshit from us. I do appreciate everything. I think we all do.
Appreciate all my bad mics
into it.
Yeah.
All
my bad microphones.
So if you want to thank anybody for the show, make sure to thank Ja. But also do want to thank you guys, the listeners. Some of you guys we've had from all walks, people that literally listen to us on their drives to their locals in another state. I still remember every message, still remember every comment, I still remember every piece of feedback we've ever gotten. It's been incredible, and I hope to continue it on, because I think 2025 is going to be a great year. Potentially definitely some new games coming up, potentially some releases. Street Fighter 6 continues to do what it's doing. Tekken, continuing, Strive, hopefully fixing itself, not falling apart. I don't know. Maybe Lucy by the time she comes out. Who knows?
Lucy.
City of the Wolves.
Yeah. City of the Wolves, obviously, maybe a 2X. I mean, the beta is definitely happening, so we're gonna, we're in a good time. But it's all about how we make it. But we'll see. Maybe once again, 10 years. I don't know, 600 episodes, however many episodes it's gonna be by then. we'll come back to that. We'll look back. But in the meantime, though, that's gonna be it for this episode, guys. We appreciate y'all listening to the 400th episode, our 10-year mark. A new year for fighting games, a new year to have the sodium levels rise, but also a new year to just play some games, have some fun, mash some buttons, and enjoy your time with the homies. Appreciate you guys listening. I've been Crash. You can follow me at Crashtag BS on social media. We've got Josh Stradamus on all social medias that he is available on, that he decides to talk to.
It's talk Blue Sky. At this point, it's just
Blue Sky, by the way. Yeah, okay, just Blue Sky.
He did it before it was cool.
Yeah, we got Mikey, who doesn't have social media. Used to, doesn't anymore. That's fine. But you can look him up at star.gg. Look it up on his results for Evo.
No!
You can track him that way.
Don't look at my results anywhere else. Don't do it.
It's an official one, so just look up for him. And then, of course, StaticGorilla at StaticGorilla.
Yeah.
Where you can watch him on Twitch, on Twitter, all over the place.
Yep.
Yeah. And Mezza, even though he's not here,
Yep.
make sure to give a shout out. Mezza at Mezza FGC. Guys, talk about passion. Guy's got a lot of passion for a lot of things. Otherwise, he wouldn't be doing it. But mad love to him. He unfortunately couldn't make it on this one, but he'll be here for the next episode for sure. But that's it. Actually, and the show. Make sure to follow the show at Double Tap FGC on all social media. I forgot we gotta fucking plug in the show as well. Follow us there. YouTube. We're gonna have a video version of this podcast there, so you guys can check out there. Check out our reactions. Check out our little hidden hand gestures, our clues, things that I might have hidden within the show about maybe potential games going on in the future. Who knows? You're just gonna have to watch to find out. At Double Tap FGC. Come say what's up and join our Discord. DoubleTap.gg/Discord. If you want to get on, also last bit. Community episodes. We had one that's just posted up with Blackmore talking about the martial arts, the fighting games and such. You want to get involved? You just want to talk shop. Anything fighting game related, come through. You want to have your hot takes, come through. You want to just call it a community hot take? I'm down. Make sure to hit us up. You guys can email us. You can DM us. The email is doubletap@mash.gg. You can just DM us, Twitter, tag us, hit us up on Discord. We got plenty of ways to reach. We're not hard to find. Come join. Come say what's up. But in the meantime, that's going to be the first episode of 2025. I want to say thank you to our awesome host. Thank you guys for being here for the long haul that it's been so far. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Remember, 2 weeks, bi-weekly. Don't get messed up on your Spotify. Until then, see you guys next time.
See you.
Peace.
Peace.